Coming up on Oxford Week in Review, what college students are now able to buy online that will get them ahead in class.
The cast of Jersey Shore calls it GTL. Next, how students are GTLing to get ready for their spring break getaway. Welcome to Oxford Week in Review. I'm Molly Shanks.
And I'm Katherine Beck. Have you ever shared notes with a friend? There's a new way students are passing class notes that may cause more trouble than a few extra dollars are worth.
Some Miami students are starting a new trend, one containing potential illegal actions. There are a few websites allowing students to buy and sell notes online, an easy way for students to get a few extra dollars. Unfortunately, students don't understand the illegality behind this online note-sharing business. Dr. Haifi Shi says there's a few students starting to sell professors' class notes on these sites without permission.
I don't think of many, but we talked about this at a faculty meeting, and it does violate the copyright law. So that's why I brought up to the chair.
Professor of Comparative Religion Liz Wilson feels students in courses offered at multiple times or where the material never changes each semester have a greater chance of finding PowerPoints or exam notes on these sites.
We're not the sort of people who have, 25 sections of Religion 101 who would find the notes making their way to the web or getting sold or what have you.
NoteHall and other similar sites are willing to cooperate with professors that call in saying their materials are being sold without their permission. She says her PowerPoints aren't recent and NoteHall quickly acted on the tip.
The material I found is being shared on the website I think it is from 2009. That's 2 years ago. I emailed the contact us the website, and they emailed me back, so they removed the material.
Okay. This new trend isn't hitting all of Miami quite yet. Many students are unaware there are even sites to sell notes on. Miami junior Hillary Oberpoil says she's never had a professor tell the class their notes are protected under copyright laws, but has had the website promoted by a classmate.
I have had one class where a girl sent around an email to the entire class that had a link and was like, oh, I made notes for this class, and if you want to take a look at them, this is the website. And I clicked on it, and it was a website, and I was like, if you want to pay this much for these notes, and I was like, oh.
Miami's General Counsel has instructed professors to begin visibly copyrighting all materials they post online for student use. Miami junior Maureen Henderson says she's never had a professor bring up the issue in class.
I guess I kind of subconsciously know not to do stuff like that because it's been ingrained into us, but people never bring it up nowadays. It's just kind of expected.
While students haven't heard much about these sites, Wilson says it's a good idea to increase professors' awareness of the issue and talk with their classes.
Property rights are really important. They're important in the commercial world, and they should be important in academia. We should model inside here what people are doing outside there.
Miami hasn't been exposed to these illegalities yet, and hopefully students will stay on this side of the law. Reporting for Oxford Week in Review, I'm Caitlin Butts.
And we have Caitlin in the studio with us today. Thanks for joining us, Caitlin.
You're welcome. When talking to some students, I found that they had heard about the sites, but they had never been on them or heard of anyone really using them to buy or sell their notes. Instead, they were more concerned with plagiarism. And when talking to professors, they said they were more concerned with that as well instead of finding their notes on these sites. And they weren't concerned about monitoring them or checking to see if the sites had actually removed them once they talked to them. So, Katherine, plagiarism obviously is a huge deal, and that's what the university is focusing on, and even though this is a newer issue.
Okay, well, thanks again, Caitlin.
You're welcome.
In Syria, the people trapped in the Baba Amir neighborhood of Homs wake up each day wondering if their location will be hit by the next shell. If they go outside, they risk being killed by snipers. Arwa Damon was in Homs last week and got a close look at the risk opposition activists take to reach their communications center.
It hit us. It hit our house. There is something burning. The voice on the tape cries out. The media house in Baba Amir has been hit. Cut off the live camera, someone shouts. They have discovered our position. But nothing, they swear, will shut them down.
Allahu Akbar.
We survey the damage.
To get to the upper floors, you really have to hug the wall because there's one window that's exposed, but this is where you really see the full impact of the damage that was caused by the incoming rounds. I mean, this right here, it just speaks for itself.
It's not the first time this house has been hit.
This floor has obviously been completely trashed, and the activists were telling us that the bombardment, keep hearing it over and over again, the sounds of artillery falling, is nothing compared to what they've been through before. But this was once an ordinary home, an ordinary family lived here, and we don't know what their story was. There's just bits and pieces of their lives that have been left behind, including this children's toy.
Now this battered home is the opposition's media hub, buzzing with activity. Some of the activists don't want their identities revealed. They are all wanted men, most in their 20s. Many of those Homs videos you see on YouTube are uploaded from here. In the face of great danger, teams go out to shoot videos like this one. Others post images to Facebook and other social media sites.
One of the biggest accomplishments for the media team here was getting up a live stream so that they could show the world exactly what was happening in real time. And they believed that this really aggravated the Syrian government. Now, this is one of the live cameras that they had set up outside, and they're telling us that it was shot by a sniper's bullet that went in right there and then came out the other end. But even though the government managed to bring down this live feed, they still had other cameras set up, still managed to get the images and the message out.
Every morning, 29-year-old Raji writes slogans to help keep up the team's resolve. The message this time, that they will fight until the nation's pain is lifted, the killing stops, the fear is gone. But by nightfall, his words of encouragement will be replaced with the names of the dead. Raji is the father of 2 small children and says he does this in the hope that they will grow up with freedom and dignity. But he warns, if there isn't outside interference, it will be an ocean of blood. An ocean of blood if this situation continues like this. People will explode. They won't be able to take it anymore. They won't respond to us. It will be a cycle of you are attacking me, so I have to attack you. Once that demon is unleashed, he says, no one will be able to control it. Raji and the others go back to the job of telling the world about the incessant terror that is life in Baba Amr. Arwa Damon, CNN, Homs, Syria.
Miami alumni are doing big things around the country and the globe. Recently, President Barack Obama nominated class of '83 alumnus Kenneth Merton to be the ambassador to the Republic of Croatia. Croatia approved the nomination, but Merton still needs a full vote from the Senate for formal approval.
Spring break is just around the corner and Miami's campus is ready and waiting. I talked to students to get the scoop on how they prepare for the surf, the sand, and in one case, oyster restoration. It's that time of year when students across the country pack their bags to get ready for a week in the sun.
I plan on going to Charleston, South Carolina to visit my godmother.
I'm going to Puerto Vallarta.
Captiva, Florida.
I'm going to LA and possibly San Diego and or Vegas.
But students prepare long before they leave to go on their vacations. Many have turned to local tanning salons to get a beach glow before their toes even touch the sand. Attitudes Uptown has experienced an increase in customers for a variety of services.
Here lately it's been busier. We have had quite a few more people coming in to get haircuts and spray tans, and this week we should be having some bikini waxes coming in.
According to studies, people ages 16 to 25 are the largest demographic for tanning salons. Salons like Attitudes offer spray tans as an alternative to tanning beds. But despite skin cancer risk, when it comes to spring break, the spray tan option only goes so far.
Spray tans are going to come off in the, salt water or chlorine, so we're getting a lot more tanning.
Tanning isn't the only item on students' to-do list. The rec has also seen increased traffic in the weeks leading up to spring break.
I have an 8 a.m. class on Tuesdays and Thursdays for spinning, and it's been almost 100% full both days. You have to be there 15 minutes early to get a bike, and I attribute that 100% to spring break.
DiNardo says that though everyone wants that perfect spring break body, health should always be the main consideration.
But you definitely need to ease into it opposed to going just the week before spring break.
The Rec Center offers special classes and challenges in the weeks leading up to spring break. And despite larger crowds, users don't have to worry about the quality of their workout.
I think our staff are well trained to handle the large crowds, making sure people are safe, equipment is, ready to use and so forth. So we love the large crowds, yeah.
And while places like tanning salons in the Rec Center are packed with students looking to get ready for their tropical relaxing vacations, other Miami students are doing something a little different this spring break. This group of students will head to South Carolina over break to volunteer at both an orphanage and oyster habitat. The trip is under $200, and for Courtney Friedrich, the trip was more than just a money saver.
We packaged boxes of food, and we ended up I think sending out over 100,000 meals of food, and so it was just I made a difference over spring break. I don't feel like I missed out on anything by not going to the beach.
Regardless of where students are going, they've been preparing and they're ready.
I'm prepping for spring break. Gotta get that nice beach bod,
Reporting for Oxford Week in Review, I'm Molly Shanks. After the break, I'll sit down with Sergeant John Varley of the Oxford Police Department to give you more helpful hints before leaving for spring break.